We are now joined by Eric Snyder, who was the former major with the elite Israeli Defense Forces, to discuss what exactly is taking place between Israel and Palestine. In your expert opinion, Eric, do you think that this whole developing situation will escalate over the coming many days?
Well, clearly this is a different type of event than what we've seen in this region for many, many years. Really, it's really been a matter of decades. We haven't seen this sort of escalation. Israel had been taking steps to improve the situation in Gaza. This came as a complete surprise. And when you have terrorist gunmen who are entering the state of Israel and going into Israeli communities, killing people, taking hostages, taking them back to Gaza, this is a clear escalation and not something that we've seen the likes of for decades. Certainly when it comes to the involvement of civilians being dragged in, being killed and being taken hostage. This is sort of a different period than we've seen for as long as I can remember.
Eric, unfortunately, one of the many questions that people are asking now is how did Israel not see this coming, especially given that its intelligence agency is often being touted as one of the best in the world?
Well, that's a great question in regard to what happened with the intelligence. It's clear that there were some mistakes made and there will be time for them to do some sort of investigation. Again, it did come as a bit of a surprise. Most people had anticipated that there would be conflict at some point in the near future, so to speak, but the expectation was that it would be in the northern border with Hezbollah and with Lebanon. Again, there had been some real progress made in the south, and unfortunately, this happened, and it sort of shows that while most Israelis are looking for a peaceful solution, and in Gaza they were taking steps towards that, Hamas has no interest in peace whatsoever. There's under no rational organization that is actually looking out for the benefits of its people would ever take an act such as they did today, because it's a clear act of escalation at a level that hasn't been seen before, and it's clear that there will be a strong Israeli response to what happened today.
Eric, do you see the situation escalating further in other parts of the country as well? Do you believe it could actually reach the West Bank and the border with Syria, especially given the fact that it is Iran that is backing Hamas?
I don't see. There's definitely chances for this to happen. It's exactly what Hamas has done. Since they opened up this war, there have been calls for Arab citizens in Israel to take arms. There have been calls for the Hezbollah in the north to take arms. So this is something that's clearly that Hamas is responsible or is really hoping for. Israel hopes that it does not open up in other fronts, but I can tell you as a former major in the Israeli army that Israel is prepared to handle a multi-front conflict, and there will be no hesitation to take action where it's necessary. And it really comes down to a question of whether or not we're just watching the opening, if this is the first move of a greater operation against Israel where other fronts could open, or whether or not other fronts could open while Israel takes action against Gaza.
Thank you so much, Eric, for joining me here on India Today.